that you're referencing, in one interview, he says it'll be very hard to bring prices down and it'll take some time. But then once again on Truth Social on October 26th, 2024, he says on day one, I'll slash prices and it'll be so fast it'll make them their head spin. And I mean, if anything, like this is why I think that Donald Trump is like the most infamous con man alive, because you gave me a source quoting Trump saying that it will take time to bring down prices. And I'm giving you a source quoting Trump saying prices will come down so fast it'll make their heads spin. So can we see how this is Donald Trump literally contradicting himself, speaking on the same subject, the same thing, how much time it'll take to slash prices? In one sense, he says it'll be so fast. In the other sense, he says it'll take time. And this is a direct contradiction, sir.
Okay, so can we see how you guys are nitpicking at every single sentence that comes out of this guy's mouth?
Bro, you're the one that brought it up. Unironically, I brought you up. Wait. No, unironically, I brought you up onto the live. I asked you why you voted for Trump, and then you were like, Dean, I'm gonna dog walk you. I want to talk about that thing you said about Donald Trump saying you'll slash prices on day one, and then you're the one that brought up an article saying that where he said it'd take some time. And I'm just pointing out the fact on the subject that you wanted to bring up that this is a precise example of him contradicting himself. And no, I don't think it's nitpicking Donald Trump to point out the fact that he promised the average American financial alleviance on day fucking one by dropping prices to make their quality of life better, and then absolutely blasting through that promise, disrespecting it, contradicting himself, saying that it'll take time. And then once he's inaugurated, only passing policy that has inflationary effects. No, that's not nitpicking. That's just caring about the impact of the Trump presidency on American lives. And what I've realized from you and a lot of other people on the right is that you don't really care about the real world impacts or implications of Donald Trump's presidency on the American people, but rather you just support him and his administration like a goddamn fucking sports team. You think with emotion compared to reason, fact, and logic. Like imagine that you meet a fan of the Broncos and a fan of the 49ers, and you ask the fan of the Broncos, well, who's going to win this big game they have next week? Okay, they'll probably respond to be like, oh, the Broncos. Okay, Emily, thank you so much for the glowing jellyfish. But are they going to say, oh, the Broncos, because they did a comparative analysis insofar as the likelihood that both the Broncos and the 49ers would have won the game? Or are they most likely just speaking from their emotion because they're a fan of the Broncos and they want them to win? Okay,
right.
Well, speaking from their emotions, they want them to win because they're a fan. And I think about you and the rest of the MAGA cult in the same way. You don't really care about the real world outcomes of the Trump's presidency onto America. You're just kind of a fan. You want to feel like you're in this in-group with a bunch of friends and everybody else sucks and they're so lame and stupid. And regardless of what Trump actually does, you're still going to support him. In fact, you literally told me at the beginning of this conversation that you'd vote for him for a fourth term if it was legal. Like, unreal.
Okay. Would you not vote for him if he was running again?
What do you think? Come on.
Okay, so the same exact concept, right? What do you think? I'm going to vote for him, right? 77 million people voted for him, right? So you can't be telling 77 million people that we're all crazy for voting for him. Number one. Number two.
I can tell you that you didn't make sufficient rational evaluations. I mean, wouldn't you say the same thing about everybody that voted for Biden in 2020?
Oh, but that they didn't make a rational. Oh, so you admit that?
No, I'm saying I'm admitting that you'd think that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Murs, thank you for the $5 super chat.
So here, Dean, let me
like I'm crazy when I say, well, I think every single person that voted for Trump in this election didn't make a good decision, but then you say even worse about everybody that voted for Biden in 2020 when more people voted for Biden in 2020.
Fair enough. And everything we're talking about right now, especially this recent subject, is opinion-based, right? So we'll skip that. Forget about the opinion-based subjects, right? My question is, during the 3 years that prices were increased, like were really high under Biden, weren't you the one that said that Biden, the president, has no control over prices of food and groceries and gas? Weren't you the one that said that?
I'm going to correct you on what I've been saying and what I will say and what I'll continue to say is that under the last 4 years of the presidency of Biden, the inflation in the country was caused by the pandemic and not Biden. And that's just an objective fucking fact, sir. We had inflation here home in America as well as every other country on the face of the planet. And it is a case that this was onset by supply chain issues as well as reductions in consumer confidence that necessitated a need for stimulus through the use of government expenditure in the context of trillions of dollars in every major country, which ultimately caused inflation at home here in America as well as every other country in the G7. So when I say that, it's because I'm reiterating and repeating reality. Yeah.
So, but aside from all that rhetoric, you never said that the president is not responsible for grocery prices and gas.
Yeah.
Forget about everything else.
So Biden wasn't responsible for like the price
Oh, but now
increase that
Trump
there's
is
no issue.
responsible since he's only been in here for 3 weeks, though, right?
No, I don't think that Biden. So I don't think that Trump caused an increase in the price of eggs. That was caused by
Oh,
like the bird flu, and then they had to kill off a bunch of chickens. And when we're talking about his promise to slash prices on day one, right, and comparing that to high egg prices today, we're not drawing up culpability or responsibility on behalf of Trump for the high egg prices. We're just simply like mirroring the fact that he made a false promise to the American people.
okay. So we could agree that it's not because of Donald Trump that prices are up right now. That's good.
No,
I'm happy. I'm
no,
happy we could agree with
not
that.
for eggs specifically. Not for eggs
Great, great,
specifically.
great. I'm
But
happy to hear that.
but he still made you a false promise because he told you that he'd bring them down and he didn't.
No, he said he's gonna again. He said he's gonna. Can you do me a favor? I know you read that Truth Social. Can you repeat that Truth Social tweet one more time?
On day one, I'll slash
Right.
prices so fast it'll make their head spins.
On
Head
day
spin.
one, I'll slash prices so fast that they'll make their head spin.
Mhm.
What day was that?
That is October 26th, 2024 at 12:28 a.m.
Nice. And that's the whole tweet. The whole
Um,
truth.
the whole truth is eggs and gas prices out of control. Crooked Joe and the radical left destroyed affordability for hardworking Americans. It's a total scam. On day one, I'll slash prices so fast it'll make their head spin. Big oil, big farms will listen to me, not lobbyists. No more ripoffs. MAGA. See, like even you can't create a defense for Trump. You
No.
understand that this was a
So
blood-faced lie.
well, so here, I guess this is where I'm coming from. Did he word it wrong? Yes. Do we, as normal people, understand it differently? Like it's common sense. Here's the thing. Here, can I talk real quick? Hold on. It's common sense that nobody in the world, okay, other than God, could actually do something that fast, right? So hear me out. Oh Lord, here it goes again. Let me know when you're done. I
You're
think it's all
literally
about
saying
perception. It's all about
You're
perception.
literally saying that what he said was so fucking crazy and delusional to any true American that's MAGA, you'd understand that you shouldn't believe it.
No, what I'm trying to say is his wording. Okay, but his wording should have been a little bit more clear. I'm not disagreeing with that, right? But I think in all reality, us Trump supporters, MAGA, we understand what it takes to bring down gas prices and what's it called grocery prices, and it doesn't happen overnight. We can
Wait,
all
you guys
agree
don't
with that.
understand any. Wait, you guys don't understand anything about what it takes to increase or reduce grocery and gas prices. Not at all.
So let me hear that. Just hear me out real quick. What I'm trying
No,
to tell,
no,
what
no.
I'm
Hear me out real quick. In
okay.
this post on Truth Social, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "Crooked Joe and the radical left destroyed affordability for hardworking Americans." Sir, how did Crooked Joe and the radical left destroy affordability for hardworking Americans? Your
Okay,
lack of an answer to this question is going to demonstrate that you don't understand inflation, what causes it, or how to reduce it in the fucking slightest.
and I'll be happy to address that. So give me a second. When Joe Biden took office, what were gas prices? What were grocery prices? Were they low? Were they high? Were they medium? Where were they at?
I'm unaware of the specific figures, but we could assume like for the first month, for the first year and a half, we saw like sharp increases in like all prices because that was like the peak of the pandemic alongside gas, like went up and up and up and up and then kind of went down, then up again.
Wait,
And
what?
down.
When was the peak of when was the peak of pandemic?
The peak of the pandemic insofar as the inflation, which was onset like mid 2021, I believe, April 2021, maybe.
Okay, and how long does it last?
How long did it last? I don't know.
Okay, so do you think it will last all the way to 2024? So you're saying all 4 years under Biden, the increase in prices were because of the COVID or about the C9, whatever, however you say it on
Oh
TikTok.
yeah, no. So you're already confused. This is why I say that you don't understand inflation. So no, like the high levels of inflation, like peak 9% during like mid 2021, didn't last until 2024. What you are thinking in your mind, which is wrong, is that because prices never went down, therefore inflation persisted. No, okay, because inflation is merely the rate of change in the pricing of a good, not the price in of itself. Okay, if we want to reduce prices of goods, right, that typically means that we either have to, kind of fuck with the supply or demand, figure out the supply chain issues, or we have to literally cause a recession. And of course, that's something that Biden and Harris never did. But what I will say is that they gave a better response to the inflation onset by the pandemic out of any other country in the G7. We had a quicker, sharper, and proportionately faster response because of the gallantly strong leadership of Biden and Harris. There's absolutely no counter argument that you could give me insofar as to demonstrate how Biden and Harris caused inflation. I would love for you to name one policy that they signed into law that you believe caused mass inflation in America. I'd love for you to try to do it.
Okay, well, I could tell you based on common sense, right?
No, I don't want
Me
common
and
sense, I
you.
want facts.
So me and you agree that how much? Okay, can we agree that the entire 4 years under Biden prices were high? Yes or no? Just yes. Give me a
Yeah,
yes.
prices have always gone higher. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, can we also agree that it was not all 4 years were not due to the C19, correct?
I believe that like the reason prices were higher over all 4 years was because of C19.
You just said they weren't.
Outside,
You
well,
just
because like we had like normal rates of inflation apart from C19. Like right now, I think we're at like what, a 2 or 3, 3.5. Like that's sustainable for long-term growth in an economy that I wouldn't like personally say is copable for like high prices. I think it was like the original like 9 to 10 to 11% rates of inflation that bump prices high enough sufficiently to keep them high. And of course, we won't really see strong reductions in those. You're just really not understanding what I'm saying. One thing, my question to you is, could you please name one policy that the Biden-Harris administration influenced get passed that caused inflation in America?
So here's what you're doing. You're pivoting and you keep saying, I don't understand. When you're proven wrong.
Wait, I'm not.
When you're proven wrong, you say, I don't
I
understand.
have a question. What did you prove me wrong about?
Because you contradicted yourself. You said that.
What was the contradiction that I gave you?
And I'll tell you right now. Hold on one second. You said that the entire 4 years, okay, that you said that C19, I'm allowed to say C19, right? I forgot the TikTok terms. Okay. You said the 4 years, okay, we agreed that the entire 4 years prices were on the up and up, right?
Yeah.
So we agree with that. That's great.
Yeah.
Now you also said that during the 4 years, originally you said that it was due to the C19 that the prices were going up. You said that in your, about 2 minutes ago, you said it was because of C19 that prices were up. Now you're saying no. I'm like, so you're telling, because I asked you, I'm like, I reiterated my question. I'm like, so all 4 years it was the prices were going up.
Because you think this is a contradiction between, you think that prices are the same as inflation.
Oh, no, we're not. I never said inflation. I never brought up the word inflation. Forget about inflation. Throw that out the window. I'm talking about price increases.
If we're gonna be talking about price increases, it's necessary for us to also talk about inflation. Can I explain this in like 2 sentences for you to easily understand?
So is the only reason that prices go up is due to inflation? Is that the only reason that prices will go up? Yes or no?
Yes. Inflation.
That's the only reason.
Inflation is defined as prices going up.
I'm asking you, is that the only reason? I know what the inflation definition is. Is that the only reason?
It's not that it's due to inflation. It's that it is inflation.
Lord have mercy. I know. I get it. Is that the only reason that prices of gas and groceries will go up?
Wait.
Is because of inflation. Here, hold on. I'll give you an example. Maybe I'll give you a better.
Sir, you're really confused. Okay. So we don't say the reason that prices have gone up is inflation. We say the reason inflation has occurred is X, Y, and Z.
Okay, here. Maybe if I give you some examples, you'll better understand.
Wait. I have a question. Like, are you somebody that like thinks that like you could define the term woman as an adult human female?
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Are you somebody that defines the term woman as an adult human female?
I have the common sense definition of a woman, and that's somebody that was.
Yeah, so I disagree with you, of course, but we're just going to use this as an example, just so like we could understand like this conceptually under your worldview. So you're saying like so this is like saying, well, the reason they're a woman is because they're a female. It doesn't make any sense because under your worldview, those two like words are synonymously and identical with one another. So when you say, well, the reason the prices went up was because of inflation, that doesn't really make any sense because those two terms under my worldview are synonymous with one another. Like we don't like attribute a reason. Like I don't even know how to explain this. Like you have a reason for inflation. The inflation isn't the reason in itself.
I'll clear it up just by saying this right now. You ready? Okay, so key factors that can contribute to rising prices. Okay. 1, inflation. You're right. Inflation can contribute to rising prices. Supply chain disruption, fuel costs, weather and natural disasters, increased demand, labor costs, geopolitical conflicts. Now, do you understand where I'm coming from there, buddy?
No, because geopolitical conflicts, fuel costs, increasing labor, wages, etc., all cause inflation. Anytime a price goes up, we call it inflation.
Okay. So with that mindset, right? So if
wait. I want you to define the term inflation.
Dude, stop.
No.
This
This is necessary because you just don't even know what you're talking about. Define inflation.
Well, why do you guys keep going to definitions?
Because you don't understand the definition of this term and you're misusing it and it's making you look stupid. So I'm going to make you a smarter person in sub 5 seconds to find the term inflation.
Okay. Well, it's the general level of prices for goods and services rises, reducing the purchasing power of money over time. In other words, an inflation increases each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services. There you go. Okay.
Thank you. So you just defined inflation as rising prices.
Okay.
Bingo.
So I don't think you're getting this.
I don't think you're getting this. You just said, oh, is the only reason for rising prices inflation or rising prices? Do you understand it now? You're like, is the only reason for rising prices rising prices? Do you get that?
No, you're not. Hear me out. Hold on.
No. Did you, yes or no? Did you say is the only reason for rising prices inflation? Yes or no?
Muting me?
No. Did you say the only reason for rising prices is inflation? Yes or no? Did you ask me that question?
I will defend myself with
Did you ask me that question?
I did, but I'm going to defend why.
Okay, wait. Just let me
I have
talk.
a reason.
No. Just guide me. Just
You know where I'm going with this, too, that's why.
Walk with me real
That's fine.
quick. Walk with me real quick. So you did ask me if I think the only reason for raising prices is inflation. So could we also agree that you just defined inflation as raising prices?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay, so would you agree that the question, do you think the only reason for raising prices is fucking gibberish?
No. So, and I'll tell you.
Wait. How can you say that? No.
trying to
Is it
explain.
no? Is that question gibberish? Yes or no? Is the question? Do you think the only reason for raising prices is
No.
raising prices? Is
Answer
that
is
question
no.
gibberish? You don't think
No.
that question's fucking gibberish? What? Wait. Okay, no. I want you to defend one very specific point. Please tell me how the question. Do you think the only reason for raising prices is not gibberish? Defend the proposition that is not a gibberish question.
You're smart. You know where I'm going with this. Yeah, you want to.
I have no fucking clue.
You know
where you're going with
exactly
this.
where I'm going with this, brother. You know
I have
Come
no
on.
fucking clue.
So let me
it's
explain.
gibberish. Wait,
So if-
how could I know
if
where you're
it's-
going with utter fucking nonsense?
If it's other nonsense, then let me continue embarrassing myself.
Okay, please take it away, embarrass
you.
yourself, explain
Thank
to
you.
us how the question.
You have 8.2 thousand people.
Wait, no, please take it away and embarrass yourself and explain to us how the question is the only thing that raising prices is not gibberish. Embarrass yourself.
Hold on 1 second, man. Dude, you
No.
gotta calm down.
Answer the question.
You guys always do this. You guys always get like so.
I hold the pedal to the metal, and I want you to answer
crashing
this
out.
dumb
I know, but
bullshit
let
ass
me-
question.
You guys expect to have questions that are answered in your with your narrative. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to tell you what I believe, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Answer the question, man.
I asked you. Let's go back to the original
No,
question.
we're not going to
man.
go back. We're not going to go back. Sorry about it.
Of course. Why not?
Because you're pivoting, and I want you to explain.
I'm not.
the
I'm
statement.
going back to the original question.
Wait, I'm so sorry.
Hold on.
If you're going back or away from the question I asked you to anything, that's
I'm
what
not
we call a
going
pivot.
away from the question. Let me ask.
How could you? Yes, you literally just said that you were. You literally just said going back.
But
to
that's
the
not
other
pivoting.
question.
That's on the same subject.
Wait, no. If you're going back to anything, you're pivoting. That's what
We're
a
on the
pivot
same
is.
subject.
No, if you're going back to anything, that's a pivot. I don't want you to just stay on the same subject, okay? Because you could say that arbitrarily whenever, okay? I could say, oh, well, instead of talking about why Trump is a bad president, I could talk about why Kamala Harris would have been a good president. We're still saying on the same subject there, right? And I could just simply say that's not a pivot. So I want you to answer the very specific question. How is the statement, is rising prices the only thing that raises prices, not gibberish?
Yeah, stop muting me.
Answer the question. Sorry, man.
So, hold on. Ask that question again. Sorry. Go on.
Explain to me how the statement is rising prices the only thing that raises prices, not gibberish.
So I said, is rising price is the reason why eggs prices and gas prices going up is
Sorry, I only muted you because the chat is spamming. Let him talk.
inflation the only reason? That's my original question.
And then we agreed that inflation is defined as raising prices, right?
One of the yes, but hear me.
Okay, so then in other words, if we switch the term inflation with a definition of inflation that is raising prices, would you agree that you essentially asked me, is raising prices the only thing that raises prices?
raising prices, but there is a point to that, right? With inflation, within the definition of inflation, why is it raising prices? Is it due to the supply chain? Dean, is it due to the? So it's not a general definition. It doesn't say the definition of inflation isn't raising prices and that's it. No, it's raising prices due to the supply chain reasons.
No.
Yes.
Wrong.
Dean, come on, man.
No, you're
Pull
wrong.
pull up the definition of inflation for me.
So inflation is literally defined as
Okay.
just an increase in prices, a relative change in a price.
Inflation. Let's do this. The inflation definition. Hold on. You might be right. Let me see.
But the reason why it's typically supply chain issues is because it's typically like supply and demand, and which would impact the pricing of anything. In fact, your supply and demand curve in macroeconomics 2010, first course you'll ever have, is how you determine price.
Wait, say that again?
Your supply and demand curve or supply chain issues, okay, is like typically what will determine price. So like a money supply increase isn't necessarily supply change issues, yet it causes inflation.
So I'm so confused. You just admitted, and you just
Wait. Do you think that printing more money through our government causes inflation?
Do I think printing more money from government? I'm not too well. I wouldn't be able to answer that. Honestly, I have to study that. But I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you that.
If our government printed $5 trillion new dollars tomorrow, would the dollar be worth less, causing inflation?
Yes.
Is that a supply chain issue?
No, it's not.
Exactly, because it's a demand side issue. But yet we agree that it causes inflation. Thereby, we could agree that inflation is caused by things other than supply chain issues. It's just that typically they're caused by supply chain issues.
So can I read you the definition of inflation?
Sure, man. It's literally just the increase in the price of a good.
I know, but it all depends on. So where are you getting your information? I said read the definition, and you're not able to read it. So before I read mine, can you show me where it says that?
Where I learned that in my macroeconomics course 2010. It's just a simplistic way to define a term.
Okay, so my original question was, do prices of groceries, right? So what are the reasons in which prices of groceries can go up, right? And the price of gas can go up, right? And
so I want to be very clear. What are you asking me?
Okay, so I originally asked what were the how.
No, I don't. What are you asking me right now?
So my original question was what are the reasons in which prices of groceries and prices of gas can go up?
Okay, you want to know the reasons why groceries and gas can go up in price?
Yes.
So groceries can go up in price for a lot of reasons. Some of the reasons can be supply chain issues. Another reason can be maybe like farms are paying their workers higher wages, meaning they have to sell their raw product for higher prices. Maybe that they're having issues, like getting a particular yield of chickens for a year. Maybe like the corporation selling the goods are taking higher profit margins, meaning they're like price gouging. What can increase the price of gas? Well, it's typically going to be observed within like reductions in the global oil supply, alongside like tariffs for the importation of said oil. There's a lot of things that can cause inflation. I do not understand how the question insofar as how inflation can be caused is relevant to any political discussion, but I'm just kind of letting you do your thing and I'm going along with it, I guess.
Sure. So we were talking about Trump and the gas prices and groceries prices, right? And how he's only been in office for 3 weeks. Do you remember that conversation we had?
Well, the specific question that I asked you that I don't think you've answered is you held to the claim that you think that Biden and Harris are culpable for some inflation in the country over the last 4 years. Name one policy in which they influenced get passed through Congress that caused inflation.
Okay, give me a second. I'll do that for you right now. Because I know I had one. Let me just pull it up. Give me 1 second. I'll be able to do that for you.
What the fuck is going on with this, Gus? Does anybody understand what's going on? Because I'm full-heartly confused. Like, I don't know where we're at in this conversation.
I mean, we've been stuck on inflation.
Jara, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. I'm like so confused in this one. Like, I think that maybe I just get like super like confused sometimes because I just don't even know where we're at in the conversation. And then plus there's like people saying earlier that I got schooled. How did I lose to the guy that said is raising prices the only thing that raises prices?
Okay. I mean, here's the thing. You can,
like,
and that's what you need to do. Like, you guys take something and then you twist it a little bit. But anyways, I'm not gonna argue with you on that one. All right. So here's a couple things in which Biden has done and the Harris campaign has done to cause inflation. Right. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me just see which one is the best one, so you don't have any.
Are you ChatGPT in this shit, bro?
What's ChatGPT? What's Chat?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. No clue, man. Go ahead.
No, seriously, what is it?
I don't fucking know, man.
That's not the first time I've heard that. What is ChatGPT?
Just don't even worry about it, man. Go ahead and name the policy that they influence to get past that caused inflation.
Okay. So supply chain and labor market policies, right? Extended unemployment benefits and other support measures while providing essential relief may have inadvertently discouraged workforce participation, leading to labor shortages. These shortages, combined with global supply chain disruptions, have been factors in rising production costs and consumer prices. See, what do you guys do? Why do you guys laugh when I prove you wrong, bro? I mean, I don't understand that self-defendment. That's crazy. Just admit it. Be like, yeah, you know what? They're not perfect. Trump isn't perfect. Just say, okay, you're right.
So what was the name of the policy again?
Dean, what's a policy? Define a policy.
A piece of legislation influenced to get passed through Congress. We could also technically consider an EO as policy as well.
Are you sure?
Well,
how about this? How about if I read the definition of a policy? A course or principle of action adopted or proposed by a government, party, business, or individual.
What do you think about that one?
And the way that we adopt and
Proposed.
the way that we propose, adopt, and accept ideas that influence like mechanisms in our federal government is through congressional legislation or executive orders. So,
but we're not talking about the end. A policy, even if I'll give you an example. If Trump proposes that he's going to do something, he's going to get rid of waste, right? That's within itself a policy because he proposed it, right? Can we agree?
It's a proposed policy. You fucking donut.
Are you go read the definition of policy. Everybody in the chat, read the definition of policy, please.
Can't do it.
I mean, this is
What
crazy.
is going on?
I just told you.
What?
This is what you guys always do.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat.
Chris
over
did the
on
same
YouTube.
thing,
I really
but Chris
appreciate
kicked me
you
out
for the
because he got mad.
love.
A course or principle of action adopted or proposed by a government. What else do you want to know? I mean, am I wrong?
Okay, so when it hasn't been adopted and accepted, you call it proposed. You preface it by calling it a proposed.
That's within the definition of policy. What are you saying?
So the way in which I would use policy is like an implemented idea through legal recourse, either given congressional legislation or an executive order.
But that's how you, Dean, do it, right?
Yeah. So just to specify I'm just gonna be honest, man. You're like weird. This is all a weird obfuscation because I just want to make it very clear. My original question was name one policy that Biden and Harris implemented to get passed that caused inflation, and now we're debating what a policy is. So I'm just going to be more specific with a policy. Please name one bit of congressional legislation they influenced to get passed through Congress, or one executive order they signed into law that caused inflation.
So now it's legislation. So now we're moving on from policy to legislation. Got it. Because
no,
we know
legislation is policy. But that's
not the only thing, right? Because it could be a proposed. A proposal is a policy.
So wait, a proposed policy is proposed legislation.
Are you? No, it's not. Dean, stop. That's crazy that you're saying that. If Donald Trump proposes that he's going to bring down gas prices, that within itself is a policy by definition.
Oh no, that's
by
not a policy,
definition,
that's a
my
goal.
man. By definition.
No, so definitionally speaking, when we colloquially use the term policy referencing the American government, we're talking about legislation passed through Congress or executive orders. We're not referencing just general ideas.
Wait, I'm telling you, research the definition. How can you go back and forth with me on this one? Research the definition. Pull it up on your laptop.
So you're bringing up like a general definition of a policy.
Oh God, this is the general definition now, bro.
Yeah, exactly, because that's how it works. Like for instance, what do you mean? Oh my God, have you ever like taken like a hyper niche college course on philosophy or anything?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
So like for instance, like there's like words that have like general definitions that have very specific definitions as they would apply to philosophical conversations, and the same thing is true here. Like as the term policy would apply, right, to like our government and the legal recourse of our government, such as legislation, right? Policy is law, okay? If you're proposing a policy, if you're proposing a bill, if you're proposing